Hi, my name is Bianca.
And I'm Dewi. The Barracuda that we were originally assigned was the Romeo and Juliet. We were mainly interested in the interior conditions, specifically in the details and gaps defined by the puzzle's interior tectonics.
Our transformation of the original puzzle takes cues from the forms and proportions of the original Barracuda. We have translated varying puzzling techniques from the original, including rotating and sliding mechanisms.
We subtracted mass from the original form to reveal the interior mechanisms.
Our exterior boundary is manipulated in a way to reveal the interior interlocking of parts and their part-to-part relationships. It is finalized by pieces that act like keys to lock our model in place.
The intricacy of the puzzling necessitates the usage of diagrams to understand their assembly. The manual indicates the specific direction and order in which pieces are assembled, complexities of the interlocking mechanisms, and how each individual component comes together as a whole.
The diagram is a simplified representation of how the pieces are assembled, rotated, and inserted into the puzzle.
Contrast to the original Barracuda, our form uses negatives to emphasize the distinctive characteristics that allow for a puzzling mechanism. A contrast of thicknesses are utilized, showing a magnitude of layers from the exterior facade.
The original Barracuda is projected throughout our model and portrayed at times through object-like masses and other times as thin silhouettes of the Romeo and Juliet.
The 2D puzzle showcases the rotational, pivoting, and sliding mechanisms from a two-dimensional perspective. It utilizes the silhouette of the 3D form as a scheme to manipulate extrusion-like objects. A contrast of thicknesses begin to create object-like masses and allow for a strategic puzzling of what we begin to interpret as the ground.
Our 2D puzzle translates the original Barracuda forms through a series of thin silhouettes that are composed in an intricate set of layers. The distinctiveness of the pieces allow for the parts to fit together in an intentional puzzle-like scheme. The contrasting heights of different parts allow for rotations at specific moments while serving as blockage point for other parts of the puzzle. The puzzle is then used as a supercomponent which can be placed in a relationship with other assemblies to create site strategies.
Similar to our 3D puzzle, our 2D puzzle offers moments of assembly that are not at first obvious and require diagrams to unfold their puzzling nature.
The fundamental aspects of our 2D puzzle is its rotational movements and how it locks into place, taking inspiration from the original Barracuda.
These details highlight the contrasting thicknesses and how we began to use negatives to reveal the parts coming together. We have combined the two puzzles together. The combination necessitates the translation from one form to another. The formal geometry, though sympathetic to one another, also allows for separate readings from one form to the next.
The metal finish of the 3D begins to seep into the crevices of the ground. Essentially, we view these as two systems that could live within each other and live separately.
The site takes on a spine-like scheme that runs through the site. It creates paths and entrances that weave in and out of the building, as well as create a connection to the park located adjacent to our site. Terraces and gathering spaces are made within our petal-like forms that were found in our previous design studies.
In our detail, we wanted to reintroduce the puzzle forms from our earlier puzzles, using the silhouettes and interlocking of our earlier pieces to create a meandering pathway through the museum. We reinterpret and manipulate this original puzzling object in a way that can be used as a museum display, creating platforms and circulation throughout the voided moments found within our pieces.
This detailed moment allows users to weave through a prehistoric display. A series of ramps and stairs guide users through a direct circulation path that allows users to view display objects through a series of unique moments.
Puzzling design strategies are again utilized in the section model. Primary shapes begin to form an envelope for secondary spaces. The user is guided through the museum by a series of observatory ramps that punch through the shape boundary. This allows users to meander throughout the negative parts originally occupied by the distinctive shapes of the original Barracuda.
Throughout this process, we have explored and developed the distinctive shapes and mechanisms from the original puzzle. Techniques were developed that examine parts in the new relationship, which were aided by the usage of puzzling and assembly. Our project essentially highlights how these puzzling parts can be utilized through different moments while preserving their original characteristics.